How's it going, everybody? Adrian Simple here from thegamingobserver.com for Sunday, November 10th. I'm going to be doing yet another mailbag segment because I couldn't think of anything else to talk about. So if you ever have any ideas for what I should be talking about on Sundays that isn't necessarily just a daily update, I'd welcome the recommendations. Nonetheless, let's get right into it. Today's question comes in from Rich, and he says, quote, I have this completionist mentality to finish every game I enjoy, but when is it okay to let go? Sometimes I find myself playing a game just for the sake of finishing it. The backlog only seems to grow otherwise. Do you finish every game you play? End quote. Rich, you have touched on a topic that I am intimately familiar with. I have the exact same problem. This problem has also been kind of magnified ever since I started The Observer because I have this mentality that I really want to know a lot about a lot of different video games. And what I am going to sort of recommend to you and to everyone listening is to stop thinking about your games like a backlog. I think the word backlog has this really negative connotation to it. And in my opinion, video games are supposed to be the things that aren't stressing us out. It's supposed to be the thing that we go to at the end of the day and say, okay, time to relax, right? And if we start saying, oh man, I have to finish this game and I really don't want to, for whatever reason that is, I think that's just the totally wrong way to go. We're here to have fun, and if you're not having fun playing the game, then stop playing it. You asked when is it okay to let go? It's okay to let go at any time. If it doesn't catch you in 5 minutes, and if it doesn't catch you in, 10 hours, you can let go at any point. And maybe this sounds obvious, but I think that this is a problem that a lot of people have, including myself. On a mailbag segment a while ago, I talked about the list of major AAA games, or not even AAA games, just critically acclaimed games that I never finished. And the list is huge, because for one reason or another, it just didn't capture me, and it didn't keep me coming back to it every time. I've had this other problem where I start a game and then I play a little bit of it and then I don't return to it for a long period of time. And then after that long period of time, I go, well, I don't want to just pick up where I left off. I want to start all over again. And all of a sudden, that game that I played to get out of the backlog just re-enters the backlog. So the solution is to stop calling it a backlog and instead say, hey, you have a bunch of games, play whichever ones you want, and try not to get stuck into the sunk cost fallacy. Okay, and this question comes in from an anonymous user who says, quote, do you think games are becoming more player-influenced? As in, do the players get to have a say in what levels, bosses, gameplay options that are going to be added? End quote. I think this is a really interesting question because it's actually pretty specific. I think at an industry level, we are seeing a lot more player influence, especially when we're talking about things like games as a service, where developers are really trying to respond to their players on a live basis almost. But when we're talking about things like levels and bosses, I'm not so sure that that's... I don't even know how many people are really trying to tell developers what they want in that case. I think where we're seeing it more is in things like accessibility issues, the size of a font of subtitles and colorblind mode. Or maybe if we're talking about game sequels, right? Like I really want to see a sequel for this franchise. You'll probably see it most in games that are in early access because that's what developers are really looking for, is that feedback. But in terms of these specifics of almost the content within the game, I'm not so sure that that's a player-driven thing. I would say that most game designers and game developers have a pretty good idea of what they want there. And I don't see why they would want to stray from that. Okay, a big thanks to the both of you for your questions. To my Alexa listeners, you're going to hear another audio clip from me right after this, so stay tuned. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. It really means a lot to me, and I will see you tomorrow with the daily update. Until then, happy gaming, everyone. Okay, hello everyone, I am back. I just wanted to take another minute of your time and remind you that the Gaming Observer is and always will be a fully inclusive and positive show. Yesterday, I received a few troubling Amazon reviews saying that they didn't want to hear me talk about certain quote-unquote political topics. And I wanted to respond to this, and with the help of a dear friend, here's what I have to say. I say happy gaming, everyone, at the end of every single briefing, and I chose that as the outro for a reason. I truly do believe that gaming is for everyone. And the unfortunate reality is that the gaming industry, and of course the community alongside it, have a really long way to go and a lot of work to do. The fact is that gaming is often a toxic and abusive environment for women, people of color, LGBTQIA2+ people, and others. I will keep talking about that regardless of Amazon reviews. If you disagree with me and if you're up for the challenge, please keep listening. Of course, I don't require that you agree with anything that I say, but I do value the opportunity to convince you that these are in fact vital issues to the health of our world. If you cannot handle listening to a perspective that you disagree with, or if you're hoping that I'm going to be some safe haven from issues that are inherent to games as an art form, then I want to thank you very much for listening thus far, but this probably isn't the right show for you. To those of you who may at times fear being a part of the very toxic gaming community, I promise you that I will do my utmost to make my community the safest and most positive that I can. I want to give a heartfelt thank you to everyone who sent me their thoughts on Twitter and those who left subsequent positive reviews on Amazon. It really made me feel a lot better about the whole situation. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening every single day, and until tomorrow, happy gaming, everyone.